Where's the camera right now? The camera to take a picture before we start.
That's the only one I have.
Before we start the meeting, we're going to take a picture with Mayor Peña and the council up on top here. So if the council wants to move forward real quick before we start the meeting, we're just going to take a picture. Just a picture. We can take a picture with the phone. Because the action is already open to leave, so.
Before the meeting starts, we'll take a quick picture with former Mayor, Mr. José Orlando Peña, who had a lot to do with the organization and creation of the Urban County. And he was honored at this past week at the Urban County, right? Correct? And we're going to honor him here as well. So because of his leadership and his doing, we have what we have today here in the city. So we want to thank you very much. He's an uncle. He's my uncle, my favorite uncle. Actually, honestly, I want to be a mayor like him too.
You are the mayor.
Amen. 1, 2, 3. I'll be heading for a meeting in Arlington.
Wait, we have an item.
Driving?
I'm going to call this meeting to order at 6:04 p.m. Roll call. That was quorum to follow election. Any other council members?
Dale Perez is present.
Linda Sarabia present.
Javier Ramirez present. Anthony Oresti present.
Joel Garcia present. Good report.
To the mayor.
Go ahead.
If I may, Mayor Pro Tem, as Mayor Ayala, I know he was here, he had to leave, and I don't know if you want to take action excusing his absence.
Sure, we'll take it back.
I so move to excuse his absence.
I have a motion by Ms. Arabia. Second by Mr. Ramirez. Any questions? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, invocation, pledge of allegiance. Who would like to lead in the invocation? Any volunteers? Volunteers on that. Eric.
Our Heavenly Father, gracious Father, we ask you that you bless each and every one of the leaders who are here before you today, Your Honor. I ask you that you give us the clarity, the wisdom, and the power to lead this city, your Heavenly Father, in the right direction. In your name we pray. Amen.
Pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Certified posted agenda.
For the agenda, which will be posted 2 hours before the meeting as required by state law.
Thank you. Any public comment? No public comment? Okay, I guess we were dealing with the burial of proclamation of month of military child.
The proclamations are to the top right here.
There were two of them or one?
It's a duplicate.
Okay. Proclamation, State of Texas, Hidalgo County, and City of Palmview. Whereas thousands of Texans have shown bravery and commitment to protecting our nation's freedom by serving in the United States Armed Forces, and whereas the Rio Grande Valley is proud to be home of the countless children whose parents served or have served in America's military, and whereas military-connected children face unique challenges that most youth their ages do not experience as a result of the constant moves. Having a parent that is deployed, coping with a parent who has a combat-related illness and or injury, or grieving the loss of a fallen parent. And whereas the social and emotional well-being of the children in military families is crucial to their success and has a direct impact on the families the dynamics. And whereas for the past 32 years, the United States Department of Defense has paid tribute to military children during the month of April by recognizing their sacrifices and applauding their courage. And whereas the month of the military child is an opportunity to remember our military's youngest heroes and their selfless contribution. And whereas by ensuring military-connected children are supported and celebrated in our community, as well as schools, our military families can be comforted knowing that their children are a source of pride and honor to all of us. Now, therefore, I, Ricardo Villarreal, Mayor of the City of Palmview, do hereby proclaim the month of April as month of the military child. Yeah, motion. Is there a motion? It's an action item.
It's a presentation.
Okay.
Would like to take a photo of and allow.
Okay, and who's here to represent?
And I think there's a few kids that are represented as well.
Okay, can y'all-
If you all come up here?
Be
The
recognized?
ones that were here for the military proclamation?
Yes.
Come up here to be recognized. Was there children? You can come up here too. And if you want to take a photo
Yes.
of
Okay, cool.
you as well, and allow them to say a few words. They're out here. Sorry, one was for Ms. Because that was his gift. She's going to
Let's
be.
do it in Sanchez.
Give us that, okay.
The other one?
I think we did girls, gentlemen.
Gentlemen?
Yeah, you can put on the cover.
There we go. You look a little bit too. All right. 1, 2, 3. One more. One, two. Thank you for your service. Thank you very much.
Would you like to say anything?
Lourdes Paredes. Thank you, Palmview ISD School Board and school professionals for bestowing the honor of military kids. April, of course, is Purple Love with the kiddo. Sorry, it's been a while. We're doing this just to show support to the kids because not only do we have the parents as heroes, we also have the kiddos who have gone through a lot. The moves, the different schools, the meeting of different children. So we're doing this just to kind of help them out if they need to talk about it or if they're still suffering from any, PTSD that they have from past. We started a program which we will have at the museum on April 27th for any military member, veterans. Anyone is welcomed out there. It'll be on Saturday the 27th at the McAllen Museum from 10 to 5, sorry. And we just want to thank you guys for allowing us to be here today and to support the kids, sorry.
Well, on behalf of the city of Palmview, we'd like to thank you for your sacrifices and contributions, being a military, what do you call it, military brat? That's what they're called, right? I don't like the name, but that's what they, but yeah, moving around and doing all that, different countries, different cities. I know it's hard. I know it's very hard, and I know you all go through a lot of struggles yourself as far, the same as the parents. So we want to thank you for everything that you all do also. You all and your parents.
Thank you guys for having us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, item number 7, recognition of former Palmview Mayor Jose Orlando Peña, 2019 Hidalgo County Urban County Founders Award. Okay, at this time we want to recognize Mr. Orlando Peña. He was a mayor of Palmview from, what year was that? In the I think it was 85 to the 90s, right? Early 90s?
86 to 95.
86 to 95. So we want to thank you also for serving as our mayor back in the 86 to 95. And yeah, thank you.
If I may? Sure. Last week, the Hidalgo County Urban Conference was held, an annual conference, and at that time, which I think the majority of our council was, the people up here were actually in attendance, they recognized Mayor Peña and the mayors from other cities who were involved at the time in the establishment of Urban County. And the Hidalgo County Urban County program has been very beneficial to the city of Palmview. We continue to rely on it, work with it. We've done a lot of projects with the Hidalgo County Urban County funds. So we thank Mayor Peña for setting the foundation that helps, help lead us to where we are today.
Yes. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much. Sure. Okay. And now we're going to go to a public hearing. I need to open the public hearing.
Council members, I'd ask you to entertain a motion to open public hearing.
I need a motion.
For opening the second.
I have a motion by Mr. Perez, a second by Mr. Ureste. Any questions? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. So we'll open this meeting at 6:15 p.m. Okay, consideration of possible action to rezone from its present designated land use zone single-family residential R1 to multi R3, La Camellia Lot 10 and 12 Block 2, 1100 Donahue Lane.
Good evening, Council. Rudy Flux with the Planning Department. This is a request to rezone from a single-family residential to a multi-family residential. The lot is located along the west side of Donahue Lane, approximately 275 feet south of Calle La Camelia, as shown on the screen. The request is to rezone to multifamily residential for 2 proposed duplexes. The adjacent zoning in the area is single-family residential and agricultural. The current, there's a incomplete structure existing on the property at this time. This property is within the low-density residential area of the future land use map.
And this is the public, the zoning are recommending?
They're recommending zoning, yes, rezoning to multifamily.
Was this an item that was before, that was passed to us?
No, this is a new item.
Was a new item.
This is a new item. Yes.
And it's a unfinished building, correct?
It's an unfinished building. We request for them to provide plans to show what they would constructing.
Okay. Are we recommending no action?
At this time, Mayor Pro Tem, it's only the public hearing, so we're just gonna hear out if there's any public comments, then we'll close it, then we'll take any action.
Next time.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. President. Okay, the next item will be 8B. 8B, consider acting possible action on the conditional use permit requested by Vicente O. Finger for 1 year for the telecommunication tower on Benson Road.
Yes, sir, Council. This is the request for a conditional use permit for a communications tower at the location. It's actually the center home there on the screen. It's approximately 1,575 feet south of Business 83.
Okay. And this is for an antenna?
This is for yes, a cell tower.
Tower?
A cell tower. The development in the area is agricultural and residential uses throughout the area.
And what's that service for?
For a cellular signal.
And so we can't get service in that area for right now. So we don't Chihuahua area?
Any company in particular?
Yeah, yes, we have Mr. Zubinger to explain a little more if you'd like. And the planning and zoning board will recommend approval.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Let me hand these out. We're going to go through a real quick presentation here, so it may be easier for you to follow these handouts as well. Mayor Pro Tem Council, my name is Vince Heber, representing the owners of the property, the owners of the towers. Real quickly, just go to the next slide, please. This is, the location is south of town, newly annexed area on South Watson Road. You can see the Fish and Wildlife Preserve right to our west. The next slide would be, thank you, City Manager. Next slide would be the 2 closest towers. Now, what we look at when T-Mobile is the primary carrier. T-Mobile issues a search ring in this area. This is primarily coverage, which is pretty poor in the south part of town for T-Mobile wireless. They look for any opportunities that they can co-locate on, any other structures. That one 6,000 feet to the west is either an Encore or CPL substation. We can't get on that. There's one closer to the expressway way to the northeast, but both of them are outside a mile of where we're located at. So there's no possible co-location opportunities. When they have to have a site, we'll show you the propagation maps in a second, the need to try to solve it, and that is a priority, to try to look for vertical structures such as this Verizon and police tower right behind this wall. Thank you. This is what I found for the city limits map. I don't think it's still accurate, Mayor Pro Tem. It's an old map, but it does show you where we are down on the south part of the town. Next, sir. These are the propagation maps. These are put together by the T-Mobile engineers. Red is good. Red is in building and rooftop, good coverage. Cloverleaf, because you can tell the 3 sides of the antennas. You can see where Their existing facility is west, due east of what we're proposing, and also northwest along the expressway where we are at. So everything in red and fairly yellow is good. Green is not good. Typically, the carriers these days all have in-vehicle coverage. When we're driving around, we're picking up a signal. Maybe 1 or 2 bars, we still can use our phones. This is rooftop, this is in-building coverage that they're showing you. So if you go to the next one, sir, it turns on and you can see how many people and how many rooftops and how valuable that site is to this community. So that's good for everybody in Palmview. And the last, the second to last one is what I was talking about, is coverage is inadequate, but it also has a byproduct of relieving capacity on existing sites. When sites are downloading so much data and information volume, it needs another site to help that overload. So that's an offset. It is zoned AO agricultural, which allows in the CUP. We provide an engineer fall letter for it. The 120-foot monopole, if something terrible happens, it is designed to break points. So be it an ice storm or a hurricane or something like that, it falls within the site area itself. The setback from the nearest adjacent residence is 164, it's a 120-foot long pole. And we like the location because it is adjacent to a large preserve, it's non-disturbing for anybody else in those things. And another advantage is multi-tenant co-locatable, so other carriers can get on it. Next one, sir. This is the site location for the front because of the preserve. We looked at that, and it's a very small, quiet roadway, almost a lane and a half. So visibly, you can't really see it when you're coming down the street unless you're right upon it. And that's the way we kind of like it. If you have any questions, next, sir. If you have any questions about capacity or coverage, I'd be happy to answer them.
You mentioned something about the different carriers. Will different carriers be able to use that too?
Yes, sir. Different carriers. They play well together now, so different carriers will be able to get on that site. At 120, T-Mobile will go to the top. AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, all the rest of them can go below that.
Any cost to the city?
Cost?
Not that we know of, Mayor Pro Tem.
Do we, any franchises or anything?
Franchise.
They have put in their, in terms of cost, they have put in their requisite permits, their permits and whatnot, Mayor Pro Tem. So we will pay that.
You know, you and me talked about maybe putting a lighted palm tree on top. That's what we would like to do on every antenna that we have in Palmview. You know, just, you know, be like the trademark of Palmview, having lighted palm trees on top of every antenna. So we would really appreciate if you could look into that.
We will try. That condition would be difficult.
Just a light, you know.
Normally, we try to not light these or show them. We're trying to hide.
Well, we're different.
Yeah. So that request would be difficult. It'd have to be structurally approved by the engineer, and be cost efficient. Have to make sure that the neighbors don't have a problem with lighting it up. You know, those things.
We can take care of that. We'll get with our residents.
Those are conditions, and I don't even know, the owner Spencer's here, I don't even know if he wants it lit in his front yard. He may not want that either.
How many feet up in the air?
120.
Okay.
It will be invisible until we put the light on, let's just say that.
We don't want a light on top of it, I mean.
Sir, I'd ask you to come to the podium.
Hi, I'm Mr. Dace, and it's my wife Claudia, we're the owners of the property. We don't care to have a light on top of it. We already have 2 lights on our property right now. One is from the utility company, and then there's another light right by our driveway.
By your driveway on the ground?
It's probably sits about 12 feet high, and I can extend it in the future if I want to. It's like a, sort of like a mini street light.
How big is?
How big is the street light? 12 feet.
No, the fixture itself.
I guess this big.
Oh, okay.
And then we have a full utility light that's right on the electric, next to the electric line.
Will that affect anything like the lighting up there? Would it affect anybody?
care about it. Now, we don't necessarily need it.
Well, it's not we're trying to beautify Palm Beach. I mean, by that, at nighttime, you can see all these antennas, you can see that little red light blinking. If we can have some kind of like palm trees, light palm trees up there, lightweight palm trees with wires and stuff, but somebody look into it. We're gonna request that from the other antennas also. So, it's not a mandatory thing, I don't think, not yet, right? But
If I understand correctly, it's not meant to illuminate light downwards
No,
to
not
the
down.
property or to the people there, but rather somebody to be able to see it from the distance.
Far
So
away.
look, there's
And if the condition is followed, the other residents will be notified, sir, within a
Oh, yeah.
200-foot radius of the antenna.
I believe they already have been notified.
They have, but what I'm saying, sir, is that if the condition were able to be executed by Mr. Vince, that they place some sort of lighting for the palm tree fixture, the other residents will be notified. They were originally only notified for the structure itself.
I don't have anything else.
well, just to look into it, if it can be done, if not.
Other than that, so you're fine with the antenna in your property?
Yes, it's a rural area. My neighbors have cows and horses and raise pigs. And my lot next to me is vacant. It's owned by my other neighbor. And they're older and they don't take care of it.
So the cows are okay with it?
Yeah, we share the animals sometimes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With your permission, Mayor Pro Tem, I'll just see if we can work something out with Rudy. If not, I'll
Okay.
let John.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
The other one is also C, consideration and possible action on conditional use permit requested by B.C. Walker Inc. for 1 year for the communication tower on La Jolla ISD Elementary School, South 175, North 210, West 175, Lot 1, 433 Veterans Boulevard.
You be laying on it?
Yes. So, this is a proposed conditional use permit for a tower, for a SCADA communication tower for our special utility district. It would be where the old water tower was,
Okay.
center there. This one was to, or they're using it to communicate to the smart meters that they've installed. I don't think anyone showed up on their path, but,
Can you relate what we're,
sure, I can. And on this one, the plan and zoning board as well, approved it.
When did the plan and zoning board meet?
It was, last week, on Tuesday.
now that would be a perfect fit spot for it.
There was some concerns about the parking and stuff. Did that get settled?
In regards to this tower, our city ordinances do require that there be some sort of
A
parking.
driveway.
Yes, and they will adhere to that.
Okay.
Yes, it's just to the entrance.
Thank you, Mr.
Mayor Pro Tem, there being no public comment, I ask you to entertain a motion to close public hearing.
I make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second. I have a motion by Ms. Alavia, second by Mr. Ramirez. Questions, discussion? All those in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, end of public meeting at 6:29 p.m. Okay, we're going into item number 9, consent agenda.
I so moved.
Mayor Pro Tem, now at this point, you will take action on the items under public hearing, A, B, and C.
Okay, now I need, yes, on the, I need action on item A.
So you want them?
You can do all of them by general consent.
I motion to approve A, B, and C as recommended by the plan and zoning board.
Okay. Have a motion for item A, B, and C by Ms. Alavia, second by Mr. Pettit. Any questions, discussion? All those in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, now it's over 6:30. Okay, now we're going to consent agenda. We have one, discussion possible action. No need consent agenda first.
I so moved. To approve.
Okay, I have a motion by Ms. Alavia, second by Mr. Ramirez. Any questions, discussion? All those in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 8, discussion of possible action relating to minutes to the special meeting held March 26th, the regular meeting held April 2nd, 2019. That's fine, Secretary.
That was consent agenda?
Oh, that was
Yeah,
okay.
that was.
Okay. Item 10, full business. Discussion possible action, the city personnel matter.
Mayor Pro Tem, if I may?
Sure.
This item, I'm gonna call on Jerry Gadiel as well, but this item has been worked on by the prior city manager, Leo Olivares. I know he had worked on it extensively, and I believe you all discussed it at your last meeting as well. So this is the final version that we're ready to present. The only thing I would note that we've had further discussions on the dress code policy. Leo has been working on some revisions to the dress code policy, and what we're now considering is maybe having employees wear something uniform, so we can all look presentable and the same. So we're probably gonna be working on some of that language as well. So I don't know if you have any questions for Jerry, but when the time is ready, if you're gonna approve it, I would just ask that you approve it subject to those changes.
Okay.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the employee manual subject to the changes that you proposed.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Howard, second by Mr. Ramirez. Discussion, questions? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr.
May I
Ramirez.
say something real quick? I just wanted to just let you guys know that my plans for the future policy updating on the future policy is to do it, to make an update every quarter of the year to see if, to be in compliance with any federal regulations or any changes that we, as directors, see across the city that we need to implement to the policy. So I'll plan to report every quarter on our policy for any changes.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ramirez. Item 10B, discussion and possible action to appoint members to the audit committee, staffed by city manager.
Mr. Mayor, at this point, I ask you to entertain a motion to postpone to our next regular meeting.
Need a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Ureta, second by Mr. Perez. Discussion, questions? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 11 on new business. Item A, discussion and possible action regarding an interlocal agreement for regional public safety dispatching services between the city of Palmview and La Joya Independent School District, staffed by the police department.
Mayor Pro Tem, if I may, we've had some discussions with the school district regarding providing some backup dispatching services. It would be only through the midnight shift from 11 p.m. till 7 a.m. In the event that it's needed, we expect it to be a very minimal impact to our resources. We've discussed this with Chief Zamora and Lieutenant Sepulveda. So we made some changes, Eric made some changes on what was sent to us to make sure that it's in line with what they're requesting, and then the rate as well. We are asking that, it's what is it, $12.50 a month, I believe, something very minimal.
And what's the period? I'm sorry.
So this is to monitor only, right? Not to dispatch police department or anything?
Right, it's more of a monitoring service with some dispatch capabilities in the event that it's needed.
So.
All right, you had a motion?
Second.
It was already a motion.
Oh, there's already a motion.
Motion by Mr. Navia, second by Mr. Ramirez. Question, discussion, all those?
I have a question. Is the term of the agreement is a year?
So, that is correct, Councilmember. So at this point, we have made the edits that are most favorable to us. Right now, I believe that the initial one is for a 2-year. That is the initial term, and then there is a chance that they can renew it for an additional 2-year term. And again, to clarify, this is not for full dispatching services. In the interlocal agreement, I put that it is for supplemental dispatching services. What that entails is from the hours of 11 p.m. to 7 p.m., covering 2 officers. And what this allows is just in the event that one of those 2 officers were to go down or in an emergency situation, they needed to call for backup. Instead of utilizing their cell phone, they could rely on us to dispatch an officer to
Just
their
like extra
location.
years, right? That somebody else, extra years, somebody listening.
Correct, that is correct, Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay, I have a motion and a second.
Call the vote.
Off the vote. All those in favor to give it, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, we're on B, update on Palmview Day, visit to the Capitol for the 86th legislative session, staffed by city manager.
Mayor Pro Tem, if I may. I just had out an update, I won't go into great details, but all of it to say it was a very productive tour. We met with various agencies. As you can see, we highlighted some of the efforts that we're looking for. The biggest one is the Senate Bill 132 related to Economic Development Corporation, Type A and Type B. We asked that they include municipal development districts as we have an MDD. The Senator's office has drafted an amendment to that effect. It's not in the bill yet. They're going to wait till it goes to the House floor and then in committee. So once it's out of committee and it's on the floor, then we're hoping one of our local reps will amend the bill to include language to help municipal development districts. The other one that we talked about with Senator Hossa's staff was a representation on the Awasad board to be more proportionate to the number of households. This data, as you can see from the last session, shows that Palmview has about 20% of the population, yet our vote is the equivalent to somebody that to one of the cities that has less than 1% of the population of the households. Senator Hossa's office is open to that. Awasad themselves are open to it as well. If something's going to happen this session or not, it's hard to tell right now because there is some legwork that needs to be done, but we will be following that very closely. Great.
Okay.
Other than
Just
that,
an update.
no one has any questions?
On the 132, it's language for what,
It's to get access to the Texas Enterprise Fund.
no, I understand, but it's going to what entities? Since we're trying to include entities.
We're just to municipal development entities. Anybody that has an NDD, and I know a lot of them here that have, locally, I think maybe Sullivan's trying to create one now, but right now, we're one of the few.
We're one of two.
So throughout the state, there's not a lot, but we're seeing movement towards that, to that. So we want to have the same rights as an economic development corporation has, the same opportunities.
Thank you, Mr. Leo. Okay, item B, discussion of possible action regarding the scheduling. Oh, wait a minute, no. C, discussion and possible action regarding the interlocal agreement with Hidalgo County regarding expansion of the emergency medical services jurisdiction, staffed by the city attorney, fire department.
Mayor Pro Tem, council members, we have been working on this. At the last regular scheduled meeting, we unanimously approved a letter of support to Precinct 3 and the county commissioners to expand our current fire district. Right now, we do have consistent coverage of our ambulance services of our 2 ICU units.
I so move to approve. We're pretty much
Have a motion
informed
by
on it.
Ms. Sarabia, second by Mr. Ramirez. Questions, discussion, all those in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, item D, discussion and possible action regarding scheduling of a workshop in May, staffed by city manager.
Representative, if I may, at the last workshop that we had, Mayor Reddy, I talked about a follow-up workshop in May, so I've been talking to Annette about this, and she just wanted to gauge to see the council, to gauge to see if you have a date in mind, you know, do you want to do another Saturday thing, morning, similar to what we did this last time? May seems to be a bit of a busy month, we're thinking maybe towards the end of May, perhaps.
Mayor, may I have the floor? Yes, speak. I would suggest to table it because the next item has for a summer workshop, and in May, like you said, there's several.
Want table both? or-
We can table both and then schedule something later after because there's other events that we're going to be going to, so that we can come together afterwards and see how we're going to focus our efforts.
Mayor Pro Tem, I ask you to entertain a motion to postpone to the next regular meeting.
I motion to postpone to the next meeting.
D&E?
D&E's.
Okay. So your motion is to postpone for D&E for the next meeting, right?
That is correct, Mayor Pro
Okay, I
Tem.
have a motion by Ms. Arabia, second by Mr. Perez. Question, discussion, all those in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item F, report of 2019 Community Festival, staffed by city manager.
Mayor Pro Tem, if I may?
Sure.
You all were there, so I think the feedback was that it was a very positive, successful, very organized. There was a good lot of structure. What we do, and they're going to show some pictures, but what we do want to do is anytime we have an event like that, there's always an opportunity for improvement, lesson learned. So we're going to have a community events, an events committee meeting on Wednesday, either during the lunch hour at 5 to talk about what went right, what went well, where can we improve on, and so forth. I think for the most part, everything that we see is very, very positive.
Yes.
The entertainment, I think, maybe during the day maybe we can have some more shaded areas, kind of things like that. Maybe we look at the events on the barbecue cookout that they could register for. As far as expenses go and budget goes, we stayed within budget. Actually, I got the report, we stayed under budget. We were under budget about $5,800. The only thing that we need to address is how we're going to compensate the employees that work the event. The employees, got to give them credit, they were there from the morning till night. So Rachel and I will be working on that to make sure that they're compensated properly, or that we do comp time or something to that effect. But because we came in under budget, I should say, we'll be able to address that.
Yeah, I want to thank the employees. Y'all did a tremendous job being out there. It looked like everybody was working as a team. Everybody was working in sync. And I can't say it enough. Y'all did a very good job. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
For the next Community Fest, let's keep in mind the schedule that the school has, because I know that it was prom night, and there was some other activities going on, I'd like to look at their schedule and coordinate into where they're gonna.
Yes, sir. If I may be recognized to speak. Rachel Chapman, Director of Finance, for the City of Palmview. All right, that's exactly where the comments that I wanted to make was in the planning. This year, I think for next year, we're gonna start in October, start looking mostly at the entertainment, because entertainment requires very rigid in the amount of time that they're giving for scheduling their performances. And also, we're gonna have a event meeting, events committee meeting, so that we can review what we did, and, because of course there's always room for improvement. And also, to get some feedback, I'll appreciate it from the council and also from the community, on how they felt, what they thought. That would help us a little bit more in targeting, what would be what would be the best activities or events to offer to them. So those are my comments on it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
This is just a report, so. Next item is monthly financial reports. If anybody has any questions for financial reports, if not, we'll just have it to the next meeting.
Something I would add, Mayor, if I may, is that all that the monthly financials are accessible online with our agenda packet as well. It's very, very thorough, there's a lot of information in there, but we make it as financially transparent as possible. We are going to be working on the website accessibility to make sure that the public can easier access it as well, so they know, where we have the budget, where we have the expenses, where we have the check register and so forth, because it's a little bit hard to follow, so we want to make improvements to the website to make it accessible.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Leo.
Mayor Pro Tem, at this time, we do have listed a executive session item. However, there are no updates in regards to that item right now. So I'd ask you to entertain a motion for adjournment at this
Entertain a
time.
motion
For postponing this.
A motion by Mr. Pettis to postpone the executive, second by Mr. Ramirez. Any questions, discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Meeting adjourned at 6:42 p.m.
Oh,
If you don't have any comments on the festival,